Okay, and we're live going to the world from
Yeah.
Canadian Animation Blog, which is located in St. Thomas, Ontario, the home of Jumbo the Elephant. Well, the Jumbo the Elephant Memorial Statue, where I have now resided for several years since moving back from Toronto. And here with Hector Herrera. He's a well known animator from Toronto. And Hector, if you want to say a little bit about what you do, that'd be great.
Sure. Hey, thanks for having me. This is great. Yeah. Well, I'm a partner in Together Works and Pictures for Art and Cultures, and so we're basically a little boutique studio that kind of caters mostly to the arts and education sector, nonprofit, that kind of stuff. We do some commercial stuff once in a while, to sort of to keep the lights on. But our main purpose is basically education based and science based. We do a lot of work with TED. We do work with the University of California a lot, some other schools here and there. And our latest project, what's been keeping us busy right now, is we're doing an animated science show for TVO, TVO Ontario.
Cool. And what's that
Yeah.
about?
Yeah. Well,
Aside
it's
from being about
called
science.
it's a it's about two little characters, two little aliens that kind of help out when a kid has a question. The kid calls on to the aliens to say, "Hey, could I glow? Could I fly? Could I, how big can I grow? How strong can I get?" And the little aliens are sort of facilitators of information. They will connect the kid to a scientist, and then the scientist will explain. And so the animation, there's a bit of live action on it, but it's mostly animated. The animation parts are obviously the characters and some of the science explanation uh, sections, which we have a lot of experience having done quite a few TED videos ourselves, which is in fact one of the reasons why the producers of the show came to talk to us. And they were very generous in the creative freedom that we were allowed to. We basically designed the entire show from top to bottom. So that was great, and we're having a lot of fun animated episodes.
Can anyone see any of this right now, or is this all under wraps?
Right now, it's still in the wraps. I mean, there have been a couple little things on our Instagram account, like little corner of a design here and there. But we don't feel like we can put too much stuff out because first of all, TVO would have the rights to put that out, and also we wanna with every series you kind of want to wait and have the entire be consumed as an entire episode, right? Because right now it doesn't have any sound. What we're doing is the animation, but then it has to go to the post house for the live action processing and color correcting and sound and music. So we rather wait until that point. Yeah.
That sounds fair.
Yeah.
And so I know you're an artist and you're very clever
Mhm.
about the different styles of animation that you use. Is there anything in this particular series that you've kind of pioneered?
Uh, I don't know if pioneer is the right word, but I mean, obviously the style. We were kind of nervous when we were proposing the style because especially the spaceship design and the backgrounds, we were looking for inspiration at cinema, like at Stanley Kubrick, and we were looking at Mobius in terms of the design. And it's not a direct. You're not going to see it and go like, oh, it's exactly like that. But like I say, the spaceship is basically the chapel of white diamond. And so you usually when you're trying to appeal to preschoolers, it's not necessarily what you first think of when you think of a spaceship. And we were a little bit. There was a discussion internally in the studio whether they were gonna kind of go for it or not. And we decided to take the risk because the way we figure out if we're gonna be working on this for 24 episodes, we kind of want to bring a little bit of our own influences to it, right?
Totally, absolutely.
And having said that, we had sort of backup designs that were a little bit more traditional in case they were like still a little bit too much for the kids or they didn't like it. We could rely on something more traditional. We knew the risk, but luckily producers and TVO have been great when it comes to approval for the art. We're using a lot of mixture too. In addition to that, the art is mixed solid, plain solid colors, but we're doing some collage elements in the backgrounds as well. So I think that's going to be, hopefully, that's going to differentiate the show, a little bit when it comes to that.
Right on. And when will that come out on TVO? Do they have a broadcast, like a rough estimate yet, or is it still in the air?
2019. It's a funny story. I was getting nervous because I thought it was going to air, half of it was going to air in September. And I was telling everybody, really even some of our common friends, I was like, I don't know what we're going to do, because we're getting there, but the rest of the production is not there. And then finally, it turns out I misread the schedule, and nothing's really supposed to come out until 2019. So that was a big sigh of relief. But you got to think too that this is our first series. We usually work on individual films for our collaborations and our clients, and this is the first time we've gotten to do an entire series, from start to finish. So it's been a big learning experience for us as a studio.
Right on. That sounds amazing. That's a big, I mean, you've kind of come from small roots. You came in and you worked at an indie studio in Toronto as Cup of Coffee. Was that your first time?
That was my first.
Canada?
No, actually, well, to be in the animation industry, yes. When I first came to Canada, because when I moved here, I had been working at a post-production house. And that was in early 2000 when I came to Toronto, and I was just I needed a job, so I looked for jobs where I knew and ad agencies. So I started for 6 months. I worked at McLaren McCann, or at least the design production arm of McLaren McCann, but at that time it was called McGill. But it was basically it's in the same floor as the creatives, and I was doing print design there. And then suddenly they found out that I could use After Effects, and they started buying me gear. And but I was always I wanted to work on bigger projects, right? Than just animating logos. And at some point, I had to reach out to Cup of Coffee, and yeah, they called me up and had a meeting, and I jumped over to them, where I spent I think like around 5 years being a creative director there, and as a job, it probably has been the best job working for someone. It has been the best job I ever had. It had its difficulties at some point, like every job, but it's a huge learning experience for me. And yes, it started as a small studio that then ballooned into 350 people by the time I left.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was like I remember it was just when I was getting into animation. I kind of finished up what I was doing at art school, and then I heard a Cup of Coffee, and it was just like going crazy at that time, which is amazing because it's like we need that in the Canadian industry, and it has since shrunk down, and kind of like all these people that were connected there have kind of spread out through the entire Toronto animation community, and they're creating studios like yours.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I actually Cup of Coffee is shut down already. Like
are they totally shut down now?
Yeah, Adam announced that he was shutting down after I think 20 plus years, which is
auction?
No, they did the auction when they moved to another studio, and I think on that studio they did a couple of years more still work, and then I think it was around last year where I think Adam's interest kind of moved away. I think he wanted to get into live action or something like that, and I think he moved to LA. So that was kind of close. But you're right. Morgan over at Tin Man, we started the same day. Actually, at a Cup of Coffee.
Oh no way!
Yeah, absolutely. Same exact day we started, and we did a couple of projects until she took over. I took over the broadcast design, so short format commercial broadcast design stuff, and then she started producing series for them. So, but there was an overlap. She worked there. My partners here in the studio, they worked. I met them there. Same thing with Warren Brown, who was the co-creative director. He's the creator of Big Block Sing Song for CBC.
Yeah.
So he worked there. A lot of people in this. I go to the Ottawa Animation Festival, and sometimes it's like a class reunion with because we
like all the people from Cup of Coffee previously.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right
and that was one of the things that studio had. It was a giant magnet for what I think was at the time some of the best animation talent in the city, at least if not Canada, because some people who moved to Montreal, they worked there, and a lot of people ended up working when the stop motion realm went on to work at Leica, and went all over the world to work. So yeah, it was a great place. It was a great place to work. It was a troubled, great place to work.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes someone should do a documentary on Cup of Coffee, the rise and fall. I think it would be intense. If people are willing to talk about it, that would be amazing.
Yeah, you're right. It would be intense. It would be interesting to see the different experiences, right? Because I had a great time. Probably the last 2 years that I was there, I think we were a little bit rockier, and I think a lot of it had to do more with the change, my own interest of what I wanted to be working on, and also the market, right? Like I still remember the heyday of that wasn't even the heyday, but when you can consider that of in-house, like sort of like small studio broadcast design things, we were getting so much work from the U.S. We were allowed to do a lot of things because broadcast design was a new thing. There were always broadcast graphics, but people with design and illustration backgrounds hadn't made that jump to being able to do it themselves, right? It was always like send it to the post house and see how they move it. And we were, I think I saw a timeline the other day of like the history of motion graphics and graphic design. And I think I am not of the first batch that came up, but we're around, people my age are around the second, third batch. I think around the second part where it started to take off. And I was just fortunate enough to be at that time. And I was fortunate enough that not only the studio was doing what I was good at, which was broadcast design, but they were doing things that I had no idea how to do, which was the series development. And just being around people and seeing how they did it, and even the resources. I could actually say, well, why don't we do this commercial in stop motion, and just borrow some of the crew to build a set, to do. We had all the talent there, and it was just like, okay, well, can this project afford to borrow some members of the crew from the series, and most of the time it worked out. So we had a giant infrastructure that I don't think the broadcast design department at Cup of Coffee was a micro studio that had the infrastructure of a giant studio because we were housed there. So it was such a big learning experience. And if I needed to ask a question about lighting or stop motion, I would just need to walk down the hall and ask someone like Dave Thomas, for example. Dave, how would you do this? And it would be like a 15-minute. He was super generous with his time, and it would be a 15-minute talk, and I would come out of there feeling like I could actually do it. It was fantastic. It was great.
No, it's incredible. And people should really check out the war story that you talked about at Christmas time for when you were doing production at Cup of Coffee, because it was hilarious.
Yeah,
and clever. It's that kind of stuff that's inspiring. So I don't want to hold you up too long.
Yeah, no problem.
I know you got to get back to production, but one thing I wanted to touch on and start in these kind of series is kind of like a current affairs type section. So like what's happening in Canadian animation in Toronto? Is there anything happening that you think people should know about or should be talking more about?
Well, that's actually a good question. Being a smaller studio, obviously I'm a little bit more isolated, right? We're about that, but let me just think. I had something. Again, this is a bit of a positive spin on things, but I just think I'm just in awe of the talent in this town. Like
Absolutely.
people have people and people keep moving here, and I know some people are moving back to Ottawa or Montreal, and Montreal is really talented. I know people there, but every time I go to like any meetup of animation, like animatic TO, or it's just the interest is there, and I think it's good to start making be aware of the community, right? Be aware that there is a lot of people out there, but there's also that there's a lot of people that are not necessarily connected, right? For example, we have like the people you and I know in common, which are mostly the animation community, but there's this other sector that I know, which is the motion graphics,
Right.
community. And I feel like there might be like some nice intersection there that hasn't happened yet, because you have the motion graphics people having their sort of industry get-togethers, and we have us having our industry get together, and I'm just somehow in the middle, and I think there's this middle. I don't want to call it industry, but there's this middle section where I think it's where we land sometimes.
Absolutely.
Where we are doing the series right now, right? But most of the other work is a mixture of character animation and motion graphics.
You're absolutely right, and we're at that point where these groups can come together and through the internet and like videos and this kind of stuff, they can find out about each other. And another big component is the gaming community that does animation.
Absolutely,
and like they previously they didn't really connect back and forth, and now they're starting to go on, and we're having massive hits come out of cities like Toronto. And they're using animation there, but a lot of the people didn't actually know they existed. And now they do, and now they can connect up with each other, and potentially the animators can connect up with the gamers, and they can create these wonderful little things. Like I think there's some game competitions, like build a game in like 48 hours, 24 hours, and they're pulling all these people together. So they'll have like designers, and they'll have gamers, and they'll have game designers and animators, and they'll make these things. And because of this, we can actually connect up and make better products.
Absolutely, and even the other way around, just something simple like our friends at ED Films up in Montreal, where they just came up with this free plugin where you could play. It's almost puppeteering with your game controller. So you could now basically play with a character. All that data gets ported into Maya, and you can then edit them. So those two things are kind of mushing together a little bit, and I think that's one of the things that I know if it's just a Toronto thing or a Canada thing, or I'm kind of assuming it's like a industry wide thing, where you could where there's those different markets, right? And even in the stuff that we end up doing here is not necessarily. I mean, we're doing TV now, but it's not necessarily TV. Before it wasn't necessarily TV. It was content, animated content for the web, but and then our own films, right? Then our own sort of like films that we submit to festivals. That's another thing. But I find that sometimes I've been finding I talked to 3 different groups of people that I feel like there's a bit of a connection here that we're kind of missing, and I because you go to a film festival and there's film people and they appreciate animated film, and that's one thing. And then you go to a festival like Ottawa, for example, where there's a lot of focus on TV production. And that's another thing, right? And then there's this, like I said, this sort of middle motion graphics part of it that is a bit, they will end up doing commercials or production for television or the web, and it feels like there's 3 separate things that we at least in the studio try to swing across those three things, and there's only so much time you can do it, right? Like right now we're doing TV. We haven't had time to do much of anything else, but after we're done, we're hoping to jump onto our next film, our next original film, and that's going to be another section. But I can see those things, and I hope I hope some of that stuff can come, can come together a little bit more.
Totally.
So
So
that's
maybe we
kind
can
of
make
my,
that happen.
yeah, hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Getting more people talking, and then. So would
Mm-hmm.
you say who are some people that animators, like in terms of motion graphics and that kind of stuff, who should animators check out? Whose work should they be looking at right now?
Well, I mean, I would say like the as a studio Tendril right now,
Tendril?
Tendril, they're fantastic. They're I think they're the ones to beat right now in town.
And I've
Um,
never even heard of them.
oh, and but
Yeah,
they're huge in the motion design industry.
right on.
And they're in Toronto. They're local. They're from Toronto. When it comes to outside, you have in the States, you have Buck.
Mm-hmm.
Another great fantastic Canadian studios in Vancouver is Giant Ant.
Giant Ant. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, they're again, as always, they started as a small studio like us, except they managed to grow. 'Cause they're incredibly talented. So they're over there, and I think Giant Ant, they help put together Blend, which is a conference every 2 years. So it's a motion graphics conference held over in Vancouver. So it's not going to happen this year. It's going to happen in 2019,
Okay.
and they're amazing individuals. You can check Daniel Luna in Toronto. He's great. He used to be work at Tendril, so he's out, but he's out in the wild now. So he's fantastic. I can't think of anyone else right now, mostly because I haven't been in the motion graphics circle in motion graphics for a while. But the Tomo talks, which are held in Toronto, are basically like the animatic TOs
Hmm.
of the motion graphics industry.
Cool.
So that could be a good place to start talking to those people.
Tomo Talks.
Yeah,
That's great.
TOM. Oh yeah,
Right on. Okay.
yeah,
Well, I don't want to take any more of your time, but I really appreciate
mm-hmm.
that you made the time to chat. And then we'll
Yeah,
touch base maybe in a couple months and see where
that'd be,
production is at that point and
yeah.
what else you're working on.
Yeah, I mean that's it. Oh, one thing I don't know if it's this relevant. Why speaking of series, and I'm gonna plug this series because
Go
it's
for it.
we worked on it and it's wonderful and it's finally on air. So last year we worked with Inhabit Media and Taco Productions,
Yeah, yeah,
and we worked on a series called Anana Stand, and it's a series, a bilingual series, and you have to do it in English. Is based out of northern Canada, and it's sort of like a Sesame Street, for Inuit children in the north, and and we were lucky enough to get contacted, and we did two music videos with the Jerry Cans, and I think the episode with one of them was on has already aired. You can actually go to the ATPN website, and you can see entire episodes there. And one of them is there, and we did some other animated sequences, and I think they got approved for a second season, so hopefully we'll work on that as well. But
right on.
it's a wonderful series. They're a lot of their mandate is to preserve the language, and so there's a lot of emphasis on that, and we got to learn a little bit of it to do it. Not that I remember anything now, but when we were animating, I could count a few 10. And it's on air now at ATPN. So yeah, there's a lot of animators from the country that worked on that show. So if anybody is watching, yeah, go support that show because I think it's fantastic.
Awesome. That's great. I love what
Yeah.
that production studio is doing. I've just noticed them because they were at the Taffy job fair. And so
Yes,
then I
Neil was
followed
there,
them and
right?
took a look.
Yeah.
And then there's another project they're working on that's really cool. If you go to their Facebook
Yeah.
page, you can see
Right.
it. I think
Yeah.
it's the bear, like the
Giant
last
Bear. Well,
giant bear. Yeah.
yeah. ED Films, our friends in Montreal that I was talking to you about, they developed the plugin. They're the ones animating Giant Bear. They've been doing it for 10 years, and actually, we're sort of like we're we're studio friends, and those guys, you should actually talk to them because
I
they're
would
doing
love to
some
talk to them.
very, very interesting work. Dan over there, he's a mad scientist when it comes to that, and Emily's wonderful at Cheetah. They're great people, and they're just the quality of their work is fantastic.
It looks
So
incredible.
yeah,
Like
and
as soon
and
as I see
it,
that, yeah.
actually our connection with Inhabit was through them. They couldn't. I think ET thought that whatever Inhabit was looking for at that moment, we were the right people for to do it, and so they connected us, and it's great, and then they keep working together. So yeah, yeah,
Sweet. All
yeah.
right. Well, thanks so much, Hector. This is awesome. And if people want to check out
Thank
your stuff,
you.
where do they go
Yeah,
to? Your
they
website,
can
main?
go. Yeah, our website is it's a little bit outdated. We've been working on the series, but they can go to wearetogether.ca, and they can check us out on Instagram mostly, where we just mostly post doodles of like maybe snippets of work, which is just together works and pics on Instagram, and yeah, hopefully we can show a little bit more work, more of the series that we as we go on.
That'd be great.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks again and have a great afternoon.
Thank you. You too.
You got it. All right.
Okay.
And that's a
Yeah.
wrap.